What is existentialism? Existentialism is a 19th and 20th century concept where people believed that philosophical thinking begins with the human subject, not just thinking subject, but the acting, feeling, human, living individual. So the most important concept here is existence precedes essence. The most important consideration for people is that they are individuals. Existence means somebody that's independently acting and responsible, a conscious human being, like we are. And then the essence of somebody is the labels, roles, stereotypes, preconceived notions, and definitions that people put on them. It's their label. So the actual life of people is what constitutes what we should be called and what their true essence is, rather than just arbitrarily defining them with whatever label we think that they should have, depending on their clothes or what they look like or what they say. And the other concept that we're going to talk about today is, what is metaphysics? This is a big word that defines a branch of philosophy, and it explains the fundamental nature of being and the world that encompasses it. So what does all this mean? It wants us to answer two questions. What is ultimately there, and what is it like? So we're going to dive into this reading from The Velveteen Rabbit, which is a children's book, and we're going to talk about what does it mean to be real in physical flesh, and how do you know that something's real? How do you know that something's there when you can't actually see it, touch it, feel it, smell it? So let's get those wheels turning, and we're going to start diving right into this story. "What is real?" asked the rabbit one day, when they were lying side by side near the nursery fender, before Nana came to tidy the room. "Does it mean having things that buzz inside you and a stick-out handle?" "Real isn't how you're made," said the Skin Horse. "It's a thing that happens to you. When a child loves you for a long, long time, not just to play with, but really loves you, then you become real." "Does it hurt?" asked the rabbit. "Sometimes," said the Skin Horse, for he was always truthful. "When you are real, you don't mind being hurt." "Does it happen all at once, like being wound up?" he asked, "or bit by bit?" "It doesn't happen all at once," said the Skin Horse. "You become. It takes a long time. That's why it doesn't happen often to people who break easily, or have sharp edges, or who have to be carefully kept. Generally, by the time you are real, most of your hair has been loved off, and your eyes pop out, and you get loose in the joints and very shabby. But these things don't matter at all, because once you are real, you can't be ugly, except to the people who don't understand." "I suppose you are real," said the rabbit, and then he wished he had not said it, for he thought the Skin Horse might be sensitive. But the Skin Horse only smiled. "The boy's uncle made me real," he said. "That was a great many years ago. But once you are real, you can't become unreal again. It lasts for always." Just to give you a head start, I am going to think about underline and circle some of the areas that I mentioned that something is real. And that should give you a jump start for the rest of the assignment. So, of course, at the beginning, we ask what is real. That's the first sentence. I want you to think about, in terms of your life, what makes something real? How do you know that something is real versus imaginary? How do you know that something is real, like your computer that's sitting right in front of you, versus God? How do you know that God is real? Next, we're going to jump down to where the Skin Horse says real isn't about how you are made. So then what is it about? To him, the Skin Horse says that it's when somebody really loves you. But is that what you think makes somebody real? We're going to jump down to, I suppose you are real. And the rabbit assumes that because the Skin Horse is sitting right in front of him. But do you have to be able to touch something in order to know that it's real? Or can you believe that something is real without ever actually seeing it? Is seeing believing? So those are just a few things that I want you to think about as you continue through this exercise. Thank you for all of your attention. Just to give you a little bit of a heads up, we are going to be talking more in depth about the Velveteen Rabbit in class tomorrow. We will also be discussing what is skin color and specifically how that relates to what defines a person. And then how does beauty get defined in our society, and how does that differ from how you define beauty? And then we will also be doing a little art project and talking about what it means to observe something and why is it important to look closely at something. Why is this an important skill? How can you use observation skills to feel good about yourself and the people around you?